Thankful to Allah for His gifts, for whatever He is giving us, for all the things we are aware of, and the countless things which we are not aware of, which we take for granted. And maybe if we start missing them or losing them, then we realize that, oh, there was this gift, Allah gave it to me, and now He's taking it back a little bit, and now I'm really feeling how precious it was. So, whatever we give of thanks, it can never be enough for the gifts of Allah Almighty that He's granting to us. All these gifts is faith, is Iman. This is the gift which will provide for us, provides and will provide for us bliss and happiness in this world and in the hereafter, eternally. And the expression of this faith, of course, is found in the Shahada. We were speaking about faith and the gift of faith and the greatness of faith, and that it's the greatest gift, and it's the thing that will grant us happiness here and hereafter. And on my last journey, I had an incident which touched me somehow. I was stopping in Serbia in a small town. I spent the night there in a little apartment I rented. And then in the morning, when I was about to leave, I went to a petrol station. And there, they still have people that fill your cars with petrol. It's not like here, everything is self-service and you have to do it all by yourself and then just go and pay. They have some kind of service. They fill your car, they ask you how much you want, if you want to fill it up, and then I pulled out the Serbian dinars I had and gave him the amount and said, please, this much. And they clean your windows also, and you know, it's nice actually. And he spoke some English, quite, mashallah, surprisingly. A young man, around 25 maybe, working at the petrol station, speaking English. And while he was filling the petrol into the car, I said to him, it's become cold, hasn't it? Because the day before it was 30 degrees, and on that day it was 6 in the morning when I was leaving. I said, yes, it's cold. I said, but what can we do? He said, yeah, this is God's doing. God is doing this. And in that moment I felt very happy. Some happiness came into my heart to hear this from a young person like this in a country which we think they are far from God, and they are maybe our enemies because of the history with the Bosnians and the Albanians and whatever happened between Muslims and Serbians there. But I found the young people there, they are not like this. At least, you know, they can see, obviously, I'm a Muslim and so on. And he was saying it like this. So I was very happy that I got back in the car with this really happy feeling about this young man saying, this is God's doing, showing that he believed in God. Now, of course, there are many sayings of the Prophet ﷺ and of the awliya about the importance of faith, and especially the importance of the expression of faith in the Shahada. And the words La ilaha illallah, they are also called in Arabic An-Nafi wal-Ithbat, which means the negation and the affirmation. And La ilaha, there is no deity, there is no God, is the negation. And illallah, but Allah, except Allah, is the affirmation. And those two together, you deny something and then you affirm the opposite. This makes the faith. And of course, there are famous stories of the awliya, how some awliya, when they would recite La ilaha, everything would disappear. And when they said illallah, everything would reappear. And there's a lot of interesting stories and experiences around that subject, individually and also for people in the form of miracles and so on. Story in one of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, which is reported by Ibn Hibban, one of the great scholars of hadith. And Ibn Hibban was somebody who compiled a work in which he brought together reports from the Prophet ﷺ, which were according to his understanding of the same authenticity as the ones in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, but had not been included in them. And he reports, and others concurred with him, that this was authentic, that the Prophet ﷺ said, "Verily, Allah will deliver a man from my community in front of all of creation on the day of rising. 99 scrolls will be laid out for him, each scroll reaching as far as the eye can see. Then he will say, do you deny any of this?" Allah will say to the man, "Do you deny any of this? Have the two recording angels wronged you?" And he will say, "No, O Lord." Then he, Allah, will say, "Do you have any excuses or good deeds?" And he will fall on his knees and say, "No, O Lord." Whereupon Allah will say, "But you do have one good deed with us, and you will not be wronged today." Then a small card, piece of paper, will be brought out for him, on which it says, "I bear witness that there is no deity but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger." And Allah will say, "Bring it forth." The man will say, "O Lord, what good is this small card against all these scrolls?" 99 scrolls full of misdeeds, bad things that he did in his life. And there's this small paper, and he says, "Oh Lord, what shall this small paper do, compared to all this?" Huh? But Allah will say, "Verily, will not be wronged." Then the scrolls will be put on one pan of the scale and the card on the other. The Prophet ﷺ said, "And the scrolls will prove lighter and the card will be heavier, for nothing has more weight than the name of Allah." MashaAllah. How wonderful. You know how important faith is, how important it is to confirm our Shahada every day. That's why in every prayer we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. In all the 5 prayers, we say it every time when we sit in prayer. And the Prophet ﷺ ordered, "Jaddidu imani." And they said, "How can we renew our faith?" He said, "Renew your faith